How did the death of Ninoy Aquino impact the Filipinos? For many, Ninoy achieved in death what he failed to achieve in life. That is, uniting the Filipinos to fight for their freedom from Marcos's administration. Indeed, to Filipinos and the rest of the world, Aquino's sacrifice and his death meant that freedom is worth dying for. The 1986 snap elections. Aquino's assassination lit a fire of protest among Filipinos. All sectors of society, from the upper to the middle classes, marched with the poor. Professionals marched with the workers and the unemployed. The open protests staged by the people resulted in a growing unrest in the country. This prompted President Marcos to announce snap elections on November 3, 1985. Who do you think was chosen to run against Marcos in the presidential race? Why do you think so? A month before Marcos announced the snap elections, the opposition was already thinking of asking Cory to run for presidency. Joaquin Chino Roses launched the Cory Aquino for President movement, CAPM. Cory, on the other hand, only agreed to run if Marcos would call for snap elections and if the CAPM could gather 1 million signatures in favor of her candidacy. On November 30, the CAPM presented 1 million signatures to Cory. Meanwhile, on December 2, AFP Chief of Staff Fabian Ver and his men were acquitted by the Sandigan Bayan from the cases filed against them that implicated them in the assassination of Ninoy. The day after, on December 3, Cory finally declared her candidacy under the United National Democratic Organization, UNIDO, banner, with former Senator Salvador Laurel as her running mate. Here is the series of events that happened during the 1986 snap elections. February 5. Almost 1 million people attended Cory Aquino's Meeting de Avance. The National Movement for Free Elections, or NAMFREL, headed by Jose Concepcion, announced that it would post poll watchers to prevent fraud during the counting of ballots. February 7. Election Day. NAMFREL mobilized 400,000 volunteers to monitor voting and guard against fraud. February 8. Cory Aquino took the lead in NAMFREL's tally of election results. The government's counting was much slower and showed Marcos leading the race. February 9. 30 computer technicians manning the Commission on Elections, COMELEC, tabulation machines walked out to protest against the alleged deliberate changing of election results. A multinational team of observers cited cases of vote buying, intimidation, snatching of ballot boxes, and tampered election returns, especially in Metro Manila, allegedly by the party of the president, Kilusang Bagong Lipunan. February 11, Batasang Pambansa formally began the canvassing of election returns. February 12, Marcos took a comfortable lead over Cory Aquino in the Batasan's official canvass of votes. February 14, Marcos's lead against Cory Aquino widened to 1.5 million votes, with only 1.1 million votes remained uncanvassed by the Batasang Pambansa. February 15, the Batasan Pambansa formally proclaimed Marcos the winner. Opposition members of the House of Representatives walked out as a sign of protest. February 16, Cory Aquino, together with her supporters, staged their own version of a victory rally. She called for coordinated strikes and boycott of crony-owned products and services in a show of civil disobedience aimed at toppling the Marcos regime. Among those in her list were 7 banks: Rustan's Department Store, and San Miguel Corporation. February 17, Cory Aquino announced that she would go around the country to sound her call for civil disobedience and nonviolent protest actions. Banks, corporations, and media companies owned by Marcos cronies were hit hard by the boycott. A total of 1.78 billion pesos in withdrawals from crony banks were recorded. Nestlé pulled out its ads from Channel 4, a government-owned television network, and the government-run newspaper Bulletin Today. San Miguel Corporation also suffered from the boycott. Beer drinkers shifted to drinking gin or hard drinks. Restaurants, eateries, and cafes refused to serve San Miguel beer as well as Coca-Cola, Sprite, and Royal True Orange. Some soft drink companies were also affected by the boycott because some people thought that they were also owned by Marcos's friends. Among them were Pepsi Cola, 7-Up, and Mirinda. February 19, the United States Senate voted 85-9 in favor of a declaration that there was widespread fraud during the snap elections. February 20, U.S. Assistant Secretary of State Paul H. Wolfowitz disclosed before the U.S. House Subcommittee that U.S. President Ronald Reagan's offer of new aid to the Philippines is on hold as long as President Marcos remained in office. 15 diplomats of different nations, namely Austria, Switzerland, Norway, Finland, Sweden, Japan, Britain, Ireland, the Netherlands, France, Spain, Belgium, Italy, Denmark, and then West Germany, pledged support to Cory Aquino. She told them that she was determined to assume the presidency at the earliest possible time. Let's summarize what we have learned so far. 3 major events in our history led to the EDSA revolution. These were the martial law period. The more exploited and abused the people were, the more they cried for freedom. The assassination of Ninoy Aquino. While the Filipinos felt that they lost a good leader, they realized that the freedom of the nation was worth dying for. And lastly, the 1986 snap elections. This event gave the people hope that change can be attained peacefully if Cory Aquino could win against Marcos in the snap elections. However, as the events during the elections showed, there were many irregularities that were allegedly committed by Marcos and his supporters. The announcement of Marcos's victory intensified the Filipinos' desire to overthrow him. There it is, mga ka-learners. We have recalled the dark history of the country and the events that led to the 1986 EDSA revolution. Stay tuned as in our next episode, we will learn more about the People Power Revolution and the events that occurred during the 4-day revolt.